So, talking about the bar of expectations in making this film, originally I was starting off thinking about making this with my roommates and just getting a film done. I didn't know, I had an okay script, but I didn't know what the special effects were going to look like or what we were going to do. So at the time, my expectations were about here. And then I started seeing the special effects that Nathan Wakefield was putting together for it, and my expectations rose a little, and I was like, okay, this might actually look pretty good. And then I saw more of my parents' property for what we were going to shoot with, and I'm like, wow, some of this actually looks really scary. In fact, this is a really good shooting location. It's better than I thought it'd be. And then somebody got involved and started getting me better actors, and now my expectations are right about here where they're going to hit me in the forehead. As far as all of those expectations go, I'm trying to do my best. I want this to be a really good movie. I really do. I want the acting to be dead on, I want the special effects to come out, and I want all of the trick shots that I'm going to have to do to make it look like we're taping in a deep woods and not in a backyard somewhere. A very heavily wooded backyards. So I'm trying to tone down those expectations though a little bit to realize that this is my first project and it's going to be as good as it ends up. And hopefully it turns out really good with all the proper editing and things.
How did you get involved in this project?
Shane's actually a friend of mine, and he mentioned to me that he had a script, and I was pretty interested in seeing what the script is like, so I read it, really liked the script, and being an actor and being how the role wasn't going to require a lot of on-screen time, but mostly voice acting, I thought it would be really cool to do.
Okay. You get a stick through your neck in this film. How do you feel about that?
I feel... Well, my mom told me she doesn't want to see this. She doesn't want to see me get killed, but I feel perfectly fine about it, actually. You know.
First day has just wrapped. How do you feel about how the first day went?
Really good, really good. It's really interesting doing the voice acting for this because you can really put a lot of inflection in the acting when you are really not in front of the camera, but you're just trying to express emotion. So it was really, really fun, really a new experience to do.
How did you get involved in this project?
I got a call from my buddy Mario, who said a friend of his had written a script and they needed another actor to do the movie, and I agreed to do it.
You get your head crushed in this film. How do you feel about that?
It's actually kind of cool. I mean, I'm kind of a tough guy through the whole movie because I don't want Art hitting on my girlfriend, and as much as I give him shit, he's a good guy, and I kind of trip with my own 2 feet, and down I go, and my head gets smushed. It's pretty epic.
How do you feel the first day of filming went?
It's been going great. It's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of laughing and a lot of hard work, but it's worth it.
How did you get involved in this project?
Well, my friend Mario sent me the script saying that he was going to be involved in this independent horror movie, and I read it. It was really good, like much better than the usual kind of stuff I see, because I'm a huge fan of horror movies, so I said yes, and here we are.
Of your camping troupe, you are the sole survivor. Thoughts on that?
It's kind of interesting because I know in some of the original editions all of us died or a couple of us survived, so it's kind of nice just to be like, hey, I lived, but I'm left in such a wrecked state. It's like, maybe death would have been better. So I get to play with that a lot, which has been fun.
How do you feel after the first day?
I feel really good. This is going, frankly, a lot smoother than I thought it would. I've been involved with some other projects with TV and things, and granted, those are just usually all a mess. This seems to be pretty well thought out, so I'm pretty impressed. I think it's going to be really good.
How did you get involved in this project?
I was just went online on Craigslist and was looking in I think it was the creative section, and saw some people wanting people for parts in the movie and applied.
Tell us a little bit about your character.
He's a hunter that's tries to stay off the grid. He's a little paranoid, doesn't trust the system, just tries to keep to himself and his family and friends and does his own thing. Gets wrapped up in a little sideshow that's going on in the woods, I guess, with the plot of the whole movie.
Do you hunt in real life?
I do. Yeah.
Have you ever caught anything like this before?
Not like that, no.
Have you guys ever worked together before?
Oh yeah,
Lots of times.
lots of times.
We're in community theater together. That's how I met these two, actually. We were doing the Pirates of Penzance a few
Yep.
years ago.
Well, we met way before that, but yeah.
Well,
we did other shows before
That's
that.
the first
Yeah.
thing all three of us were in, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in Joseph, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Joseph.
Oh.
We knew each other.
Yeah.
We didn't know
I
him.
didn't know him till later.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
What are your hopes for this film?
I want it to make billions of dollars so I can get rich and retire.
That'd be awesome. It'd be nice to get it to play maybe in some festivals. Try to find a movie theater too we can have it played in, just to have people come and
That
see
would be
it,
good too.
just to see what people think.
I wanted to work out for Shane.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no.
Had any of you ever had any real-life scary experiences in the woods?
Actually, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. We were camping at my friend's cabin a few years ago. All three of us were up there with him. And we got out of the car. It was the middle of the night. And I was walking up to the cabin, and I see a face under the stairs. And at first I thought it was one of our friend's little girls who had come with us, and it registers all of a sudden, wait a minute, the kids are in the car. And that face was all white, and there's no light there. And it was gone by then. I went over there was no animals or anything around. It was a human face. I never figured out what it was, and I'm not saying it was a ghost, but I'm not saying it wasn't a ghost.
I get scared fairly easy, but
I
do too.
startle easy. It takes a lot to actually scare me. That's probably the scariest thing that's happened in the woods.
I hate the dark. I hate running around in the dark. It's one of the things about this movie that was tough to do was running around in the dark. I don't know. It's always been a creepy thing of mine to be lost in the dark. But
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not just being in the woods, but it's everything around your nature. Like, again, it's at Phil's place. We one day went over to the river, and my stupid ass decided that, hey, I'm going to swim across it. And I got tired and let the current drag me, and then realized that I'm in like 2 feet of water after about 5 seconds as I'm panicking. It's, you know, you just, you don't think about that kind of stuff, you know? It's you're having fun and you're goofing around, and all of a sudden, oh, shit.
These are the men I choose to spend my time with.
You know, shit happens.
That's also fun, is that we're all good friends in real life, so it's fun to make a movie with these guys, because we all know how each other works.
It is fun, definitely.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea for Elder Growth?
Elder Growth started basically as just sort of an inkling that I wanted to do something that would not be what everybody else does, and was then inspired further by a picture my parents had taken of a particular knot on a tree here that naturally looks very much like an eye. And the eye on the tree, you know, immediately got my mind thinking about tree monsters and creatures like that. And I thought of the black goat in the wood with 1,000 young from H.P. Lovecraft's stories, along with, you know, the cults of Shub-Niggurath, I think it is, and, you know, Dark Young. And so I kind of wanted to try doing something with that. And while I've changed them in a couple ways to make the movie have a bit more of a plot and sort of follow along and have a few more low-key special effects that we'd be able to work it in, that's definitely I guess the dual inspirations of just happenstance of what I've seen, what I could think could be shot, and Lovecraft mythos. Yeah.
How has this project changed since when you first started scripting up until this point?
This has changed somewhat because it has actually gained on a much more professional tone than I originally thought was going to occur. I thought, don't get me wrong, that this film was going to be good for what it was, but the caliber of actors that I actually encountered were very, very good. And I mean that in all honesty. I'm very happy to work with them. And also the special effects that we've been able to wrangle together. A lot of them have worked out very surprisingly good considering the very low budget we have to shoot this.
What are your hopes for this film?
My hopes for the film at this point are to, I at least want a couple people to like it, I guess. I don't know. Primarily, I would say I want people to watch this. I want them to laugh at the funny parts, and for them to feel a little sad at the sad parts, and feel terrified at the terrifying parts, and for them to get a good sense of this story, if nothing else.
We're mixing up some brains and some gore here. Good stuff. What happened to your arm?
During one of the scenes, I actually tripped and fell and landed wrong and broke my collarbone.
Wow, let me get a look at that. Wow. So, did that spell the end of your participation in this film?
No, we still finished it. A few scenes left, so we just shoved towels in the sleeve of my shirt so it looked like there was an arm there to finish the filming. We had just a couple little scenes left to do, so we got through it.
The show must go on?
Oh, yeah.
You just wrapped your first film. How do you think the process went?
I think it had a very good range of good and bad to kind of, just smooth out the process. I'll say that the first day went really well, so did the second, up until the unfortunate injury, which, it's nighttime shooting, ground was slippery, it's dark, things happen. But I mean, even that didn't stop us, which was a very good sign, to show the professionalism of the actors involved. Overall, I feel it went really well. In the future, I hope to have more funds, more time, more people, but I think it went really well considering the very tight cast and money and time we shot everything in.
What's next for you?
I think next is going to be a long editing process, but other than the time to take to put together Elder Growth as a film, as a trailer, as a product, I think in the near future I would like to do some more really short films, just for kind of not necessarily fun, but for practice, now that I've got a better idea of the process and how to do camera work. And I also think, like, once I've done a lot of little shorts, I'm going to be ready to do maybe a longer film with a more scheduled pace, without the documentary style to kind of lean on, to allow for more, I guess, more realistic shots. In other words, sort of flubby looking things every once in a while, cheap camera tricks and stuff. Something a bit more professional and lengthy. Possibly could be a slasher film, could be a superhero film, could be a little bit of both.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Let's see here. I apologize to botanists who watch this and say this is horribly inaccurate. I apologize to any Lovecraft fans who feel I've done Dark Young completely wrong. But I'll say thank you to anyone who likes my film anyway.